the male protagonist of the story. Yuri dismisses all the servants in his house because of bankruptcy, but he is not good at housework and always makes a mess. Just when Yuri is troubled by this, a sexy maid comes to his house, who is willing to serve him for free. The maid's hot figure and seductive conditions make Yuri unable to refuse. What will happen between Yuri and the maid next? The story begins with Yuri's parents' death in a traffic accident. Because his parents don't leave much property, Yuri dismisses all the servants in his house. Unfortunately, as a child, he is unable to live independently and can only survive by eating instant noodles. Just then, a maid named Lilith finds him. To become Yuri's maid, she is even willing to serve him for free. Although thinking her suspicious, attracted by her pretty eyes, Yuri doesn't reject her. Unexpectedly, Lilith performs so well after taking the job that Yuri doesn't understand why she would want to be his maid. Not only is she an excellent cook, but she also gives the house a thorough cleaning. And her eyes are so beautiful that Yuri even suspects that she is a witch. Lilith jokingly says that she casts spells on her eyes, winning Yuri's favor. As a simple boy, Yuri mistakenly thinks that Lilith has acknowledged her magic and finally understands why he is attracted to her. He then admits that his heart races and his eyes can't be taken off as soon as he sees her. Hearing Yuri's praise, Lilith's face blushes. Later, Yuri stumbles upon Lilith staying up late in the kitchen studying cooking. After tasting the dish, Yuri accuses her of adding a love elixir to the food to entice him, and that is the reason why he is attracted to Lilith. Lilith is surprised by his opinion. To tease Yuri, she deliberately admits that she added love elixir and promises she won't do it again. Yuri remains suspicious about Lilith, but since she treats him well, he decides to trust her for the time being and reveals her true colors when he grows up. But what he doesn't know is that Lilith seems to know his parents, and after hearing about the death of them, she immediately rushed to Yuri's residence to take care of him as a maid. Since Lilith came to the mansion, Yuri's life quality has improved a lot. Lilith will prepare him a lot of new clothes and buy him his favorite game console. Yuri thinks she is trying to buy off him with gifts, but even if Lilith doesn't do these things, he would like her. Hearing Yuri's love expression, Lilith feels very shy. After breakfast, Yuri discovers that Lilith has been very suspicious. To figure out what she has been doing, he follows her to the backyard, only to find her playing with the kitten. Although Yuri is very afraid of cats, he decides to overcome it as Lilith seems to like cats so much. Lilith prepares the cat food, and Yuri feeds the kitten. Just then, a grown cat suddenly shows up, while the kitten tries to protect Yuri. Touched by it, Yuri is no longer afraid of the cat. Instead, he and the kitten become good friends. Lilith is so envious of the kitten being pampered by Yuri that she takes the initiative to ask Yuri to stroke her hair. Touched by Yuri, Lilith's heart raced. At this moment, a photo falls out of Lilith's pocket, surprisingly seeing himself in the photo. Yuri asks Lilith why she is carrying his picture with her, while Lilith replies that it is to admire his cute appearance at any time. Hearing this, Yuri's suspicions heightened. Afterward, Yuri asks Lilith for advice on how to cook, but no matter how hard he tried, the dish he made just doesn't taste right. Lilith tells him that the secret of delicacy is the love she puts into cooking. Yuri questions closely how to do this, but Lilith is too shy to answer. As school starts, Lilith proposes to walk to school with Yuri, but gets rejected, so she can only carefully help him sort out his uniform before he leaves, which makes Yuri feel like they're a loving couple. Hearing his words, Lilith smiles bashfully. Back to school, all his classmates care about his situation. One of his classmates, Tsukasa, has a crush on him. She tries to comfort Yuri but is too shy to talk to him. After school, Lilith shows up at the school gate to pick up Yuri, but Yuri feels angry to see her here, because he doesn't want anyone else to see Lilith's beauty. Unbeknownst to him, Tsukasa overhears their conversation, believing that they are in a taboo relationship. Therefore, she decides to secretly wish them well. Just then, Tsukasa's maid, Fujisaki, urges her to return home. Meanwhile, Lilith notices Fujisaki, who turns out to be her classmate before. Therefore, she greets Fujisaki and asks her to help take care of Yuri. One day, Lilith goes to the neighboring town to buy fresh ingredients, but she doesn't take her phone, thus losing touch with Yuri, who feels lonely at home. When Lilith finally comes back, he can't help crying. He again suspects that Lilith has put a curse on him, because once she is not by his side, he would feel very lonely. Lilith feels guilty about it, and she promises never to leave him without a word. Meanwhile, Lilith also realizes that Yuri can't fully trust her. She tries to improve her relationship with him, making herself more mature and reliable. Unexpectedly, her actions deepen Yuri's suspicions of her. To foster their relationship, Lilith proposes to play games together. Yuri wants to play chess because it is the only game his father had ever taught him, which reminds Yuri of the several times he played chess with his father, and the time he spent with his parents. They were a loving family, and Yuri does miss his parents. Lilith is very distressed by his plight, promising to play chess with him at any time. Soon after, Yuri receives notice that the school is going to host a school open day. Being absorbed in pondering how to invite Lilith to participate, he behaves strangely. Even when he gets the pudding made by Lilith, he doesn't react to her as usual. It's at the point Lilith mistakenly thinks Yuri wants to fire her. Yuri plucks up the courage to show her the notice. Receiving the invitation, Lilith is very happy, but Yuri doesn't allow her to wear a maid outfit, so she borrows a suit from Fujisaki. Yuri feels delighted the whole school open day with Lilith here, and he thanks her for coming. Then, Yuri ushers in the school sports meet to assist Yuri with his workouts. Lilith designs a special training list to practice with him every day. On the day of the sports meet, Lilith prepares a bento for Yuri early in the morning. In the playing area, Tsukasa spots Lilith cheering for Yuri. To support their relationship, Tsukasa decides to help Yuri win. Thanks to the efforts of Tsukasa and Yuri, they win the tug of war. As Yuri and Lilith celebrate the victory, Tsukasa is happy to see their interaction. During the break, Lilith invites Tsukasa and Fujisaki to lunch. There will be an obstacle race for parents, and Yuri invites Lilith to participate. As the game starts, Yuri hoppingly cheer her up and Lilith wins first place in the end. However, Yuri's classmates accuse that Maid should not participate in the competition for parents, while Yuri insists that Lilith is his most important family member, which impresses Lilith a lot. After that, Lilith falls ill from exposing to the rain, but she keeps the maid's responsibility in mind and refuses to rest. Noticing Lilith's condition, Yuri urges her to rest, but Lilith insists on working because she thinks it is her job to take care of Yuri. If she can't take good care of him, Yuri won't let her be by his side in the future. Hearing this, Yuri hurriedly hugs her and says he wouldn't let her go anyway. After a day of rest, Lilith recovers. To spend more time with Lilith, Yuri decides to help Lilith with the housework. Just then, he notices Lilith is still wearing a thin and sexy dress, and he worries about she getting sick again. Hence, he tells her how important she is to him, and he wants her to take good care of herself. On Halloween, Yuri and Lilith are invited to a masquerade ball hosted by Tsukasa. Finding Lilith very cute in whatever outfit, Yuri wants her to play a role that suits him, so he can make Halloween memories related to Lilith. At the masquerade, they dress up as a sage and a dragon. Such a perfect match impresses Tsukasa, and they have a very good time together. After that, Lilith and Yuri have a conversation. She tells Yuri that she has to go back to her previous employer temporarily as she was sneaking out here without ending the previous contract. However, Yuri doesn't allow her to leave since he wouldn't feel happy if Lilith doesn't stand by his side. As her present master, he doesn't want her to leave. Being impressed by his words, Lilith tears up the letters sent by her previous employer and decides to stay with Yuri. Later on, Yuri has been feeling down at school because he misses Lilith all the time, which troubles him a lot. Since meeting Lilith, he has been getting more and more strange. He suspects that he may be sick. Hearing about Yuri's troubles, Tsukasa warns Yuri that he may be in love. To figure it out, Yuri reads a lot of books, but he still can't understand what love is. One day, the teacher tells him that the school is about to hold a drawing competition. No matter what the object of sketching is, as long as they draw with their hearts, they will see through the essence of things. Under the guidance of his teacher, Yuri decides to participate in the competition and paints a portrait of Lilith to see the essence of her and the true meaning of love. After returning home, Yuri tries to draw Lilith, only to find that his painting skills could not show Lilith's beauty. He loses sleep because of it. To help Yuri sleep, Lilith tries a lot. The only thing that works is her lullaby. Yuri finds the lullaby very familiar, but he can't remember where he had heard it. Listening to the lullaby, he gradually falls asleep. In the next few days, Yuri tries his best to present Lilith's beauty in the painting, achieving a good ranking in the competition. On the weekend, Lilith asks for a day off to meet Fujisaki, but she still misses Yuri during her holiday. When she sees delicious bread, the first thing comes into her mind is buying it for Yuri. After meeting Fujisaki, they talk about their school time. Fujisaki used to be a problem girl, but after she became Tsukasa's maid, she totally changed. Her relationship with Tsukasa is very harmonious, which Lilith envies a lot. As for Lilith, Fujisaki also feels that she has changed a lot since she was very withdrawn before. Before leaving, Fujisaki suggests that Lilith confess something to Yuri. Unexpectedly, their talk is heard by Yuri, who has been following Lilith. This reminds him of the lullaby and he suddenly recalls the scene they met as children. At that time, Yuri's father brought Lilith home, and she sang the same lullaby to him. As the memory is getting clear to him, he feels closer to Lilith. In a good mood, Yuri keeps a smile on his face at school. Tsukasa is very curious about what happened, asking him if he has confessed to Lilith. Seeing Yuri being confused, Tsukasa directly points out his feelings for Lilith and encourages him to pursue love. With her help, Yuri finally understands his love for Lilith. As soon as he gets home, he confesses his feelings to Lilith. Just as Lilith is about to respond to him, her former colleague, Natsum, interrupts them. Natsum is coming for persuading Lilith to to return to her previous work position, thinking Yuri is too young to be Lilith's master. She asserts that only if Lilith went back with her would she get a good salary. However, Lilith still rejects her, while Natsum insists. Lilith doesn't understand why Natsum is so stubborn. She hopes Natsum can respect her wishes. Just then, Yuri remembers that Tsukasa once told him that some people who have trouble expressing their feelings frankly would purposely make difficulties for people they like. Yuri deduces that Natsum likes Lilith and suggests she be honest. At Yuri's suggestion, Natsum admits her feelings for Lilith, and she came to Yuri's house because she worries about Lilith's situation so much. Lilith is grateful for her concern, but she still decides to stay with Yuri. After that, Yuri observes Natsum's behavior and doubts if she is really a maid, learning of which, Natsum thinks he looks down on her and decides to prove herself by doing housework. However, she is very clumsy when she helps Lilith with housework, and Lilith even reveals how she frequently made up for Natsum's mistakes before. That is why Lilith is so proficient in housework now. Seeing their maid outfits are soaked due to Natsum's mistake, Yuri suggests they take the shower first. While bathing with Natsum, Lilith pours out her distress about dealing with Yuri's feelings for her. However, from her facial expressions, Natsum can tell she has fallen in love with Yuri, though she doesn't know about it yet. With Natsum's reminding, Lilith seems to come to a realization of her love for Yuri, and she feels shy about it. Knowing she couldn't change Lilith's decision, Natsum stops forcing Lilith to go back with her. But before she leaves, she wants to prepare a surprise Christmas party for Lilith. She specially comes to pick up Yuri from school to tell him about her decision, only to bump into Yuri being picked on by some senior students. She immediately steps forward to resolve the dispute. To repay her, Yuri decides to help her prepare the party. On Christmas Eve, Natsum invites Lilith to hang out together. Lilith picks hair accessories for Natsum, while Natsum gives Lilith a pen as Christmas gift, hoping that Lilith would use this pen to write to her. Lilith happily agrees, and with her accompany, Natsum has a very pleasant day. After returning home, Natsum takes Lilith to the surprise Christmas party, but actually, Yuri has told Lilith about the party in advance, and they decided to give this surprise to Natsum, who is indeed surprised when seeing it. She happily accepts their kind wishes to her, and Yuri specially prepares a gift for her to thank her. Soon after, Lilith's former master suddenly comes over. He expresses his understanding of Lilith's sudden departure, and then considerately asks about her current life. Lilith is thankful for his care, revealing to him that she was homeless for a long time after her parents died. During that most difficult time, it were Yuri's parents that temporarily took her in. They were very kind to her and treated her like their family member. After staying here for a year, Lilith decided to attend a residential school that trains servants. She is very grateful for the kindness of Yuri's parents. Therefore, after hearing about their death, she decided to guard Yuri as a maid. Just then, Yuri returns home, fearing that Lilith would be taken away by her former master. He hurriedly stops her. Seeing this, Lilith's former master immediately explains that he just passed by, and then leaves with Natsum. Finally, Yuri can spend some time with Lilith alone, having a lot of things to tell Yuri but not knowing how to start. Lilith asks Yuri during dinner if he wants to hang out someday, taking it as a dating request. Yuri immediately agrees. On that day, they first go to the cafe, where Yuri suddenly recalls his parents. He hasn't visited them for a while, hoping to go with Lilith. In front of the grave, Lilith vows to guard Yuri forever. Afterward, Lilith plucks up the courage to ask Yuri about the feelings he has for her. Although giving no exact answer, Yuri shows his willingness to find it out with her. Lilith also tells Yuri that she can't respond to his affections yet, but her admiration for him will never change. After Christmas, there is heavy snowfall. Yuri finds Lilith building a snowman for him. Seeing the snowman being lonely in the snow, he builds one symbolizing Lilith as well as 6 small snowmen next to them. Then he takes off his gloves and holds Lilith's hand tightly. That brings the end of this anime. The Maid I Hired Recently is Mysterious is a very interesting anime, with unique and attractive protagonists. Yuri is a cute child, while Lilith is a sexy maid with tan skin, an exotic image that is rare in anime. Their age gap and contrasting appearances make their taboo relationship even more compelling. I think in the world of anime, they will eventually become a loving couple. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to give this video a like to help my channel out. Also, remember to subscribe to my channel. Your support is what motivates me to keep updating my videos. Bye!